Hello. Welcome to Easy Free Recap channel. My name is Newman, and I will be recapping a movie called Tomb Raider of 2018. Spoilers ahead, so sit back, relax and enjoy. The movie begins with the voice of Sir Richard Croft, Dominic West, recounting the legend of an ancient sorceress named Himiko. According to her story, she had the power to control life and death, and could kill anyone just by touching her. Her generals overthrew her and buried her remains on Yamatai Island to prevent her evil from spreading. Richard wants to know more about Himiko's secret, but is afraid to leave her daughter behind. Jump to the present, where Lara Croft, Alicia Vikander, is at the boxing gym. She goes all out against her opponents, but eventually has to retire. Later, Lara learns from the gym's owner that she is behind on her payments and cannot let her in without her payment. Afterwards, Lara heads off with some friends to another location where she tries her hand at fox hunting. Lara puts a fox tail on the back of her motorcycle and her team of bikers follow her. She narrowly escapes the bikers on her bike, but she spots a man on the street who she believes to be Richard. This distracted her and got her into her police car, leading to her arrest. Lara is rescued by Anna Miller, Kristen Scott Thomas, her former guardian and her father's old business partner. She tells Lara that her father's shares in the company will soon be sold unless Lara claims the ownership herself. Lara has been waiting for Richard to come home for the last 7 years, but everyone thought he was dead. In the morning, Lara, who went to his father's company to claim his inheritance, was handed a puzzle box similar to the one he played with as a child. Inside was a note and a key from Richard directing him to his family grave. When Lara opens her parents' graves, she finds a room full of her father's studies. She finds a video camera containing a message from Richard detailing Himiko's tomb exploration and their legendary history. He tells Lara to scrap all his research because a company called Trinity is after his work and could threaten the world if they find Himiko's grave. Lara goes to the pawn shop to buy Richard's amulet. At first she gets only £10,000, but when she tries to get more, the greedy shopkeeper Max, Nick Frost, reduces the amount to £8,000. Lala then slaps coffee on Tama for being an idiot. Lara travels to Hong Kong to find a captain named Lu Ren, Daniel Wu. When she arrives at the port, she has her bag stolen by 3 street punks. Lara catches up to her and she manages to retrieve the bag. But one of her thugs tries to retrieve her with a knife. Lara manages to pass in front of Lu Ren's boat, where he chases off the punks with his gun, also because he's drunk. Her fainting Lala wakes him up and finds out that her father has moved out with Lu Ren's father and they are both missing. She pleads with them to sail to Yamatai to check out what transpired and gives the money she earned to him as payment. On the way to the island, the couple is caught in a violent storm. When Lara and Lu learn that the ship will not survive, they try to get out of the ship and into the lifeboat. But in the end, Lara ends up on an island, where she is killed by mercenaries. Lara awakens and she meets a man named Matthias Vogel, Walton Goggins. He led Trinity's expedition to find Himiko's grave, but was only able to return to his family after completing the quest and bringing home what they wanted. Vogel claims to have killed Richard and forces Lara and Lu to find the grave for him and his mercenaries. They have to do forced labor along with all the workers, and if a man falls behind due to exhaustion, Vogel shoots him dead. Lu gives Lara a chance to escape when he knocks out one of the mercenaries. They chase Lara. Lara eventually falls into the river and is nearly swept away by it until she clings to a crashed plane hanging over it. The plane began to disintegrate when Lara found a parachute during the fall and pulled it. She fell into the woods and was badly injured when something got stuck in her stomach. Vogel locates her tomb, but still needs someone to unlock it, so he sends one of his mercenaries to find Lara. The mercenaries find Lara, but after a fight she kills him and is ashamed of her actions. She then finds a mysterious figure in the woods and follows him to his hiding place. To my surprise, it was Richard, alive. At first he believes that Lara is hallucinating, but when he learns that she is hallucinating, they return to normal in tears. Richard tends to her wounds, and he is upset to learn that Lara did not burn her own research as she requested, and that Trinity is now approaching Himiko. Despite her refusal to fight back, Lara picked up her bow and arrows and returned to camp. Lara uses a bow and arrow against Vogel's minions before reaching Vogel himself. She helps Lu Ren and the other employees escape, and eventually Richard goes to the grave too. Before Lara can kill Vogel, he pulls a gun on Richard. Richard tells Lara to kill Vogel, but she is reluctant to do so out of concern for Richard's safety. And Lara is forced to solve the mystery of her tomb that allows her to open it. Vogel leads his men and a team of Lara and Richard to the tomb. They encounter several booby traps that disrupt the party, including another mystery that Lara must solve before everyone collapses and dies. Eventually, they find Himiko's coffin, which they open to find her body lying and rapidly decomposing. The men attempt to lift her corpse, but one of the mercenaries becomes infected and deteriorates rapidly to such an extent that Vogel shoots and kills several of them before he can save him from his misery. It was clear to the Crofts that Himiko had personally chosen her funeral to prevent disease from spreading within her, rather than using her powers for evil. Vogel cuts off Himiko's finger and puts it in his pocket and takes it home. Richard is then attacked by one of Vogel's infected soldiers and manages to kill him, but Richard touches his face and dies from the infection. He resolved to destroy his grave with a bomb to prevent the spread of the disease. He bids Lara one last goodbye before she goes in search of Vogel. Lara reaches Vogel before crossing the bridge again. They struggle when Richard detonates explosives and begins to collapse the tomb. Lara took a finger pouch from Vogel's pocket and shoved it down his throat. The infection spreads in his body, and Lara pushes him into the abyss. She jumped to the other side and managed to reach the edge of the tomb, but she remained trapped under the rubble. Luckily for her, Lu Ren is close to her to help her out. He then witnessed Trinity's helicopter descend and force the men and workers back. Back in London, Lara claims her inheritance. She oversees all of her father's businesses, including Trinity's parent company. Lara has been conniving with Vogel and Trinity all the while. She decides that Lara isn't done with her work yet and she has more to face the bad guys, the END. If you find this video interesting, the link to the download of the full movie is the description of this video. All you have to do is subscribe, turn on the notification bell icon so you can get notified whenever we upload an interesting video just like this. Until our next video, you take good care of yourself and bye-bye.